Good afternoon, everybody. Right, we're going to carry on with our next page of our little slow stitch book. Couldn't think what it's called then. We did this last time, didn't we? Did our hearts. So we're going to carry on. I've only got a couple of more after this, so you know, and the book's getting quite chunky now. So we'll do a couple more, and then we'll concentrate on getting it into a little book, and then I'll leave it. You know, if you want anything else, you let me know, basically. So there's lots of slow stitching stuff going on at the moment, so you're not going to be bereft of slow stitches. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on squares this time, and I thought a sort of well, I don't know, a way to get squares is to weave. Now we have done weaving, but it was when we did our tea coaster cup, yeah, you know what they're called, those things, coasters. Yes, we did weaving on this one. So I was thinking of doing the same thing where it's all butted up against each other, but then I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to just leave gaps and see if we can make squares. Oh, I don't know how to explain it really. Just make squares in the gaps, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I've just torn some strips of fabric. You do not have to have lots of different coloured fabrics. Just choose, you know, one fabric and do it. But what I'm thinking is, if we can get these almost... I've torn these and they've gone a little bit banana-y. Yeah, so what I was thinking was... Right, go back straight. Thank you. Have this gap here the same as the width of our torn pieces of fabric. Now I don't mind that they're all different lengths, that's fine, because I think that will add to the final effect. Why won't you go straight? Don't want to play, do they? Yeah, and for our stitch, because I was sort of like, I don't know what to do really, but looking back through the book, we've never done cross stitch, so I thought we would do cross stitch. Right, so those can sit there. Let me grab some pins. You are going to need, well, you don't have to have pins. If you've got little bulldog clips or something, you can use those. So I just want to pin the end so that we can do this quite quickly. And I will show you, hopefully, what I mean. Right. Yeah, you need odds because we're going to weave. So what I was thinking was, so go on top of that one, under that one, and on top of that one. We can tidy it up at the end. Okay. And then under. So making a square here basically. Yeah, so you are going to need pins, I'm afraid, but you know, you might have increased your selection of stuff by now, which is grand if you have. Let's get that one up there because that's straight edge. Trying to make a square-ish here and here. Okay, so kind of like open trellis really. So, and that way, you know, we've got a square there. Do I want another one? Let's have a look. Are you long enough? Not really, are you? No. Okay, we'll just stick with that. I'll say I'm quite happy to leave them all different lengths. So let's just pin that. Hopefully without moving it all. long pin in there, I think. I should hold it enough. Right. Okay, so we've got our squares. They're not. Yeah, we can't quite make a final one at the end there. Okay, we've got squares here, squares there, squares there. So we've got 6 squares. That'll be fine. Let's leave it like that. Let me just grab my sewing scissors. So let's try and get that square on the end there. Righty-ho. And just go for it with cross stitch. I know there are cross stitch aficionados out there who say that your top and bottom threads have always got to go in the same direction. It does look better if you do. If you can do that, it'll be great. So what I was thinking was these, where the junctions are, where they cross over, is do a really big cross stitch, and I mean a really big one. Okay, and then I'm going to scoot down to the first box. I've just got ordinary sewing cotton here, folks. No fancy threads, just sewing cotton. And this one here, right. And then I was thinking maybe we just practice our cross stitches in the empty boxes here. If you like working with a hoop, go for it. I don't think I want them touching, so come down here for this one. It does look nicer if you keep, you know, the bottom one going one way and the top one going the other. It does make your work look a lot neater. Right, I'm going to come across this next box here, or the next junction I should say. I don't want to pull it off screen, let me stay in screen. You're in trouble when you're working with pins. Tack it down by all means. If you haven't got pins, just do some big tacking stitches. All right, and just work with those. Okay, we've done that way. Oop. That one is insisting on catching, isn't it? And that one. Get off. Just keep an eye on the size. I mean, you can do lots of little ones in there if you want to. Completely up to you. You know, you can, I probably will go back and fill in the boxes actually, but at the moment I'm just doing these. I just want to get these tacked down. Well, not tacked, but stitched down, and then I can get rid of some of these pins which are starting to bug me. Okay. Yeah. It's just to kind of get you in the mood for the cross stitch. I think most people have done cross stitch at one point in their lives. I think it's one of the first ones I ever learnt actually in school. We had the big, was it called binker? The fabric with the holes in that you know, massive, great big squares that you could do your stitching on. Pretty sure that's what it was called. I was never really interested in needlework when I was at school. Funny, isn't it? Funny how we change. Remember we made our PE kit and a cooking apron. Oh, PE skirt rather, and a cooking apron. I wore that skirt for years actually, it was fine. Right, okay, so again, I'm just going to start at the top here. Keep my, that way, so the underneath one is going that way. And then the top one goes the other way. Okay, these pins are getting on my nerves. Okay, let's take you out, shall we? I've doubled up the thread. It's just, as I say, it's just sewing cotton, so. Just come down to the square here. If you're not sure what size your stitches are, sort of, you can sort of, you know, mark them out in pencil if you want to. I think it's good to just, you know, these are little practice pieces, just keep your eye on what you've done over here and just roughly line it up basically. So some people find this kind of stuff easier to do with a hoop, so by all means use a hoop. But we're just practicing. We're just playing here. It's not going to win any awards for mastery in sewing. So that did go down there, I thought it did. Okay. It's getting awkward now. I'm going to turn it this way, sorry if that's confusing. But I need to come down there. Right, so you get the picture. Do that all the way on here as well. Okay, and catch those end ones. I think we'll catch those, and then we can muck about with some cross stitching. I'll come off the screen now and get on and do this, otherwise it'll go on for ages. And I'll show you at the end what I did. All right, so but that is basically it. Just play around with your cross stitches. You haven't got to do these big ones. Do 4 little ones in the corner if you want to. You do what you fancy doing. It's completely up to you. Yeah, I'll pop back in a bit when it's all done. Right, just doing some last little bits here. Let me get all these pins out of the way because I'm bound to jag myself with those. I'll just quickly show you. So I've done some little ones here, done the big ones, just played around with a long-legged cross stitch where you can see it's in the green there. just long legs on it instead of the perfect cross. You just do, yeah, you cross it over. I'll show you. Hang on. Hang on. It's probably easier if I show you. Yeah, I was just coming up here and I thought I need to switch back on and let you see what I've been up to. So a long-legged one just literally is what it says on the tin, long legs. But my thread behaves itself, which it's not at the moment. Thank you. Yeah, so long leg, but a short top. And that's quite a nice stitch actually. So you have a long-legged cross stitch. It's easier if I show you on the white, I would imagine. Let's scoot down here. So long legs. But give it a short body. Yeah, so it's got long legs, short body. Quite a nice stitch actually. Let's do another one. Just play around with it. These are literally for us to play with, okay? I'll say you're not going to win any. This is going to be almost a cross stitch actually. I didn't go quite long enough. It's not going to win any awards, but do you know what? Oh, and the other thing I did, I played around on the spots. Actually did a cross there, so let's do the same here. It'll be here. So you need 5 dots basically. Just happen to have polka dot fabric. I didn't do it deliberately. I just saw it there and I thought, oh, I know what I can do. This looks really sweet if you do it on, you know, if you make a child's dress or something and just do this. If you got a polka dots, it looks amazing on that. Okay, and then you can, if you want to, let me get this up close, you can do a double cross stitch. So you can come back up in it again, if it'll go through. Come on. So up through again. I think this was like the star stitch we did at Christmas. It's just like a double cross stitch basically. So, yeah, I don't know, I don't think I'll do much more. I'll just tidy up these ends. I might go back in and fill in the squares, but I'm not really that worried about it being like completely covered in cross stitch. It was just, I wanted to play getting squares, and I thought, you know, a bit of weaving again was good fun. So if you don't want to weave, just grab yourself a load of little squares of fabric and just stitch those on and do some cross stitch on there, or any other stitch. I am, you know, it's completely up to you what you do. If you don't want to follow the exact thing that I'm doing, that's fine. That's fine. You do you. But it's all about just having the impetus to having a go, you know, just play with it and see where you go. I'll do some more of those. They were good fun on the spots, aren't they? Yeah, so anyway, have a go. See how you get on. Just play. And just enjoy yourself. Just sit back, relax, and just play around with the stitch. There's lots online. If you look online, there are lots of variations on cross stitch. And I know I saw on Pinterest the way to do, you know, if you're not a cross stitcher, you can do all your bits going that way first and then come back and fill them in the other way. That's if you want to do that. It's up to you. But yeah, just playing around with the dots now, aren't I? Right, okay. I think I'll make that do, you know. I think that's fine. I might find some other ones that I fancy doing, some different variations on the same stitch, and I might do some of those. I might not, I don't know. So I'll make that do, she says, doing another stitch. Right. Oh, I can't resist. I'm going to have to do one more. It's calling out to be stitched on this polka dots. Try and get it somewhat in the centre of the polka dot. Come on. Thank you. Right, I'm stopping. That should be here forever otherwise. Right, okay. So, let's have a look what we've been up to. Sorry, completely dragged that out of screen, I think. Just casting off. Right. So, yeah. Have a go. Play with weaving. I might have to stitch that middle. Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, just play about with weaving. Do some crosses. I filled this one in here. I joined them all together here. Well, almost. I did fluff it there a bit, but do big stitches, small stitches. You can do complete rows if you want to. Just go all the way along. You can fill the whole thing if you want. It's completely up to you. You could do a giant one here just to fill in those holes. Yeah, I mean, just go for it. Just do what you fancy doing. All right. So that's cross stitch. Again, there are lots of tutorials out there for you. I do not need to hold your hand that much with this one because, yeah, just have a look around and you'll find loads. So, as I said, our little book is getting, you know, it's getting quite full now. So I'm thinking I think I've got two more that I want to do, and then I think we'll call it done. And then we'll sort of concentrate on getting these little things stitched together into a book. All right. For next month's April's, if possible, I've left the book over there, bear with me. Yeah, if possible, can you get some felt, or if you've got an old woolly jumper, stick it in the washing machine at 60 degrees and, you know, cook it, and it'll go felted, because I fancy doing some of these little circles with you, little felt circles. It's easier to work with felt, you know, it doesn't fray and stuff like that. So the other alternative, if you haven't got felt, is maybe make a load of what's called Suffolk puffs or yo-yos, because you can stitch on top of those the same as these. But I'm going to work on felt. We're not going to do tons of designs like they've got in here, but I thought what we would do is go back through our little book here and revisit some of the stitches on each of the circles on the page. All right, so, you know, we'll have a go at buttonhole stitch, straight stitch, chain stitch. We'll have another go at this star stitch, was it called? I'll get the proper name for you. But, and you know, French knots, and that was just simple running stitch on that one, wasn't it? And then oh, that was fly stitch. We'll have another go at fly stitch. So yeah, we're just going to play around, and then we'll do some cross stitch on ones. But as I say, I'm going to be working on felt. You don't have to. If you don't want to, it's fine. The easy way to obtain a nice bit of felt is to 60 degree a woolly jumper, and that'll felt it. So I'm contemplating my book cover. I don't know whether to make it a soft cover or a hard cover. But yeah, we'll cover that when we get there. All right, so have a go. Hope you like it. And yeah, just play around. Do you. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.